So when I heard that Netflix were gonna do a live action of this anime, I was like, damn, the anime is really good for Netflix to want to fuck it up. So I watched the original, and I gotta say, it's really beautiful. The show always starts off with a banger tank. It helps pump us up for the episode we're about to watch, that is, if you don't skip it. But things usually change during the episode. Someone will learn something about themselves, and by the time the episode ends, we're left feeling void, much like space. The ending theme emphasizes how most of the characters alive by the end of the episode feel. There are moments in this show where not much happens, but it just builds up a confrontation or just let your mind drift away while listening to some sweet jazz music. I noticed this while watching an episode where we spent almost a good minute listening to Spike's footsteps as he walked through a theme park. With each step, I asked myself, why did the director bring so much attention to something that most shows would not even bother with? And by the time the footsteps stopped, I had my answer. My anxiety had gone all the way up. I knew Spike wasn't gonna die, but I knew he wasn't leaving there the same. It's so simple, yet it carries a lot of weight. The character interactions are not forced. Each person knows how the other is, and they know how to interact with them.
How long were you in there listening, Spike?
Too long. Your story needs editing.
Each person has their own morals and their own wounds that need healing, and we're introduced to all of it and we can understand why it is the way it is. Spike had a past that he could not let go of, Faye had abandonment issues, Jed lived a life in service of people but was betrayed, and Ed even had to name herself. And with that, the character moments are not forced on us, they feel earned. I'm okay understanding why Jed seems to be like the parent of the ship, with Faye and Spike acting like teenagers sometimes, and Ed being the baby child that has bonded with the dog, and it all just works. They all have their strengths and flaws, but we are made to love them for it. The music in each episode feels very unique, and it helps create a different setting and tone for each episode. It's probably the only show I've seen that would play flamenco during a high-speed chase and would make it work. It works because of how we know the characters are feeling. It was a race between people that we know would not end well. Either the bounty hunters get the prize and leave knowing someone was hurt, or they don't get the prize and leave without closure. So many different songs are played throughout the show, and what I love most about the songs played is that it gives you a lot of time to let the music sink in. It's clear that the show took many inspirations from different things, which is why everyone who's seen it can agree on its greatness and why it resonates with different people in different ways. It's a show that was released in 1998, but after watching it in 2021, I don't feel like I've seen it before. And with most anime these days, that's very hard to come by. Shinichiro Watanabe was the director of Cowboy Bebop, and his name was so well respected that even before I'd seen this show, I watched Carol and Tuesday expecting to like it. It's hard to find people who have such a clear image of what they want to produce and a deep understanding of the characters they've created, to the point that the characters can carry a show to this extent and it doesn't feel stale in over 20 years. The show is episodic, meaning every episode has a contained story. We all know the formula. The team finds a bounty and then they figure out why they want it and track it down. This bounty most of the time just helps move the story forward by understanding the characters involved, and the bounty hardly ever gets turned in. Which is why Spike doesn't have beef in his bell peppers.
There's no beef in here. So you wouldn't really call it bell peppers and beef, now would you?
It is when you're broke, alright?
Now this sounds like a bounty of a week kind of deal, which it is. But unfortunately, if you just jump in at a random episode, you would have missed out on some important character moments, so it gives us the best of both worlds in a sense. The show is able to use up the full episode runtime to tell a series of different stories and then intertwine them. There are side characters that are introduced to us in one episode but are compelling enough that we wish they would either not die or would come back in a future episode. The art and animation of this anime is fluid and makes for amazing scenes. The fight can also appeal to different audiences as well. It's either a shootout on foot, or there's a battle in space, or even a one-man versus an army type deal where we see how skillful our guys are. One thing is, whenever there's a fight, no inanimate object survives. Now it's easy to see the vision of the world that was created, because creating a world in the 90s that still has some futuristic elements to me 23 years later would seem difficult. But I found myself enjoying all the little things shown. I love that even the characters in a 1998 anime could also relate to how old VCRs are. It's an old anime whose future world didn't seem too outdated in some aspects. Cowboy Bebop is a short anime but with a lot of lessons. You learn about how you can't really let go of your past, so you've come to terms with your actions, and that the journey can mean more to people when they know what they're looking for at the destination. After each encounter, the cast would just drift off into space with their personal thoughts and the thoughts of the next bounty. But when they get back on the ship, they have a different view on life. Or at least that's what I took from that. Thanks for making it this far if you did, and let me know what your favorite moment is from the series. I've been Nova, and I'll see you in the next video.